Peter was a man with a feminine flair. He kept his hair long, but had not undergone any gender-affirming surgery. He worked as a fashion clothing designer for an international company, and he himself lived abroad as well. One day, during the New Year holiday, Peter flew back to Thailand to visit his father and mother, a trip he made only once a year. His parents were waiting eagerly at the airport, excited for their son's return. Since it was New Year, they wanted to take him to the temple, to make merit, and listen to a Dhamma sermon. But Peter himself had no religion. But his father, mother, and even all the grandparents were religious. Deep down, Peter didn't want to go at all. To him, everything about it seemed superstitious. But out of respect, and because he didn't dare refuse, he reluctantly agreed to go along. When they arrived at the temple, his parents walked past the first monk. And everyone put their hands together in a respectful way, everyone except Peter. He just stood there, staring blankly, looking at the sky, glancing around here and there, completely uninterested. His parents took him to pay respect to the principal Buddha statue in the ordination hall, and to offer a set of monk's requisites. Peter stiffened his neck, sat unmoving, and refused to bow. His parents, who had observed this behavior for a long time, felt heavy-hearted. His father finally said,
"So, you really intend to live your whole life without any religion at all? Is that it?"
Peter replied,
"Oh, Dad, what a strange question. Religion is just superstition. They use all kinds of stories to fool ignorant people into believing that karma is real. I'm not someone who can be tricked that easily."
His father sat stunned by his son's words, never expecting him to say something like that. His father then spoke one sentence to his beloved son.
"If Buddhism is nothing but superstition, nonsense, a lie to trick people, then how about this? I will stake my own life on it. But if Buddhism is something pure and good, if sacred forces truly exist to protect us, then let something happen to you. Something that prevents you from traveling back abroad. How about that?"
When Peter heard his father say that, he quickly replied, just to end the annoyance, because he wanted to get out of the ordination hall as fast as possible. "Whatever, anything is fine." Inside, he was startled that his father would dare bet his life like that. It showed how deeply his father believed, how strong his faith was. But Peter still felt that religion was something awful and foolish, at least in his mind at that moment. When they returned home, he was video calling and chatting with his foreign friends. Suddenly, Peter felt a severe itch on his scalp, and red patches began to appear. He scratched and scratched, until strands of his hair started falling out in clumps. Peter ran his fingers through his hair, only to find entire clumps coming loose, so many that he could clearly see patches of his scalp. He screamed in shock.
Oh, my hair, oh my God."
And just like any beauty-loving queen, who treasured her looks more than life itself, Peter panicked. He rushed to his parents' bedroom door, knocking frantically and shouting,
"Mom, my head is so itchy. Please look at it. I scratched until it's all wounded and my hair is falling out everywhere. What am I supposed to do, Mom?"
He then parted his hair to show his parents the situation. Just one quick glance, and they knew immediately. It was an acute, severe fungal scalp infection. After that, Peter didn't dare step outside the house. He was too embarrassed for anyone to see him. His scheduled flight back abroad had to be postponed. His father took him to a well-known hospital, a place famous for treating scalp and hair issues. But the more they treated it, the worse it became. His hair kept falling out, until he looked nearly bald, and painful, pus-filled boils covered his scalp. His father then reminded him,
"That day at the temple, didn't you make a vow in front of the Buddha statue? Do you remember what you said?"
Peter nodded, saying he remembered, all while his hand kept scratching his head. His father continued.
See? I'm living my life normally. Nothing happened to me. But you're the one who can't even travel back abroad. Do you believe now that sacred things in this religion truly exist?
Peter replied,
I still don't believe it. But if my scalp heals from this crazy condition by tomorrow, then I'll believe that sacred forces are real. I'll believe it's not a lie. And I'll be ready to respect and study the teachings of the religion.
After that, his parents took Peter back to the same temple to pay respect to the revered monk, whom they deeply admired. Once the monk heard what had happened, he smiled kindly and told Peter's father to scoop holy water from a large basin and gently pour it over Peter's head with his own hands. When the holy water touched his scalp, Peter felt an instant coolness, as if chilled water was flowing across his head. The burning, the stinging, the unbearable itching, all vanished like a miracle, the monk said.
Your suffering is over now, my child. You may go home.
When Peter stepped down from the monk's kuti, he gently touched his scalp and immediately felt relief, a lightness and comfort he hadn't felt in days. For almost a week, he had been hiding from everyone because of the ugly, painful mess on his head. But now, he finally felt normal again. He discovered that tiny new hairs were already growing. When he ran his fingers across his scalp, he felt short, soft strands, just like someone who had recently shaved their head. So Peter decided to trim the remaining longer hairs to match the new growth. Soon, his entire head had a short, even cut, a close-cropped, skinhead style. It wasn't as beautiful as before, but he felt more relieved than he had in days. Sitting alone in front of his vanity mirror, he thought deeply. Everything the monk had said was true. At that moment, Peter believed completely. He realized that religion, true religion, was genuinely good. He realized that monks, who lived righteously and practiced sincerely, could possess extraordinary, almost unbelievable abilities. Because of that, this beauty-loving queen fully accepted the teachings and vowed to live as a devoted Buddhist for the rest of his life. Peter became a true follower of Buddhism. Later on, he bought various wigs to cover his scalp while waiting. Gradually, his natural hair grew back, and when it was long enough, he went to a barber and had it styled into a high fade cut. After that, Peter quickly bought a plane ticket, said goodbye to his parents, and they accompanied him to the airport before he flew back abroad to continue his work, because new fashion design projects were already waiting for him. Peter's mother felt relieved, comforted by the fact that she was finally able to help her son become a person with religion. A learned scholar once said that in his past life, Peter also had no religion. Just like in this present life, because he had nothing spiritual to hold on to, he strayed. He wronged others, stole lovers, broke families apart, and took what belonged to others, whether he was born male or female in that past life. He repeatedly committed sins in matters of love and desire until it became a normal habit for people of that era in his previous existence. When he died, his spirit fell into a deep level of hell, suffering torment for a very long time. And when he was reborn, to repay those karmic debts, he returned as a man with the heart of a woman, and again, without religion, creating no new merit to counter his past. But now, Peter finally had a spiritual refuge. He now had faith, and he believed that, in the next life, he would surely be freed from being a ladyboy, as long as he never again committed the sin of violating the third precept. Drawn by Bicky Bam. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, so you won't miss any of our new creative clips. Support our art journey with a super thanks See you again in the next clip. Coming soon.